Hi guys, it's Harris. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the query tracker function within the Topic Pro Tools. So I built this query tracker to allow you to create a very quick summary of each query that you run on Google. It will try to collect, how many forums you have for that particular query, how many EDUs are ranking for that particular query, how many custom authority sites that you define yourself are ranking for that particular query, how many websites have that particular query in their title, and a few others. I'll show you exactly what those are. I'll explain each field, and hopefully this will allow you to analyze a particular query really quickly. Just within seconds, when you see the summary, you'll know, okay, this is probably something I want to write. All right, so let's get into it. All right, I'm just gonna put this mic really close to me because there's just a lot of noise around me here. Since shelter in place, everybody's at home. My kids, my wife, they're at home. Neighbors are all at home. So it's really hard to stop, the noise coming to here. And I need to do this recording, right? So anyways, let's start. So we're gonna use Doberman as an example. So if you go to Google, you type in Doberman, this is kind of like where you are, right? What you see on Google. So when you turn on the Topic Pro Tools, you will see something like this, a simple kind of like summary of what the page is, or what the page is giving you. So let's say how many forums, how many social, your own URLs, how many EDUs and GOV, how many custom authority that you define yourself, how many websites or results have the query in title, whether it's in phrase or, all the words that are jumbled up together, and then how many, autocomplete is this returning, and how many, auto suggest and auto suggest recursive, this is returning. So let me just refresh this so that you'll see what the results are. So Doberman, when you type that in, it's going to return you immediately about 8, and then recursively it can go up to 24 easily. So I indicated here that 1 being bad and 20 being good. So that just means this keyword or this current query will return a lot of results for you in the autocomplete. All right. So that's how you look at it. So let me show you. Let's say I'm gonna use Doberman won't eat. All right. So you will see here that it's showing up. It's showing you or showing us 3 forums that are ranking here. So the forums I configured it to be green, since if it's green, it's kind of like representing the stoplight or the traffic light, right? So if it's green, we want to write it. If it's red, which you already have your own URL, we probably don't want to write that, right? And then custom authority, we can actually define that as a yellow. So let me just quickly do that. So yeah, custom URL. Let's do yellow here, and then save this. All right. So yeah, so if we refresh this page, you should see that the yellow now is the custom authority. All right. So right now I defined a few custom authority, but it's not here. But I can just say that, let's say pet helpful might be a custom authority. Then just do that quickly. Let me put that in pethelpful.com. So if we do a refresh, you will actually see that the pet helpful will become yellow, and then it will show up here in your tally. So this way you can actually show you really quickly how many social, how many EDU and custom authority, etc. That is returning to you. So this one auto suggest returns you 4, and then the recursive one, it returns you about 5. So there's not much extra for that, right? And there's about 1 website with the query in the title. So basically Doberman won't eat is in the title. So let me see if I can find that. Yeah, I don't see it. It's probably this first one here. It probably has a Doberman and won't eat is in there. So it's not phrase, but the words is in there. So yeah, so that's probably it. Yeah, so that's how it shows you. And then let's say, for example, you know that the auto suggest is pretty high. You can definitely put the similar queries at high. And then based on this criteria, if you think you want to write it, you can just say absolutely. If you don't want to write it, you can just say no. And if you're not sure yet, because maybe you want to run, you want to check the top 5 sites word count, then you can definitely say, maybe here, right? And then if you want to check the top 5, just click yes here and then track query. So basically, it will go in and pick all the top 5 that are not forums. It will try to check those. All right. So it's checking in the background here. All right. It won't close them. It's more than 2,000 words because that's what the default configuration is. You have the opportunity to go in and check it if you want to, but you can increase that. Not a problem. So the setting is right here. If you want to increase that, like 2,000. So this is the options page. You can change that here. All right. So let me go back. So yeah, so I think it's done. So I think there's about 4 of them that are above 2,000 words. All right. So it will update the page here with the word count. So yeah, this is 5,000. This is kind of like what I tag as a authority site, and then these are 2,000, 2,000, 4,000, etc. Right? So those are your competition for this particular keyword. All right. So yeah, so in terms of using this screen, so you want to just keep on adding more keywords here or test more keywords. Let's say, for example, we want to do Doberman keeps biting. All right. All right. You enter that. So yeah, you have 5 and 18 here. So it gives you walking is the custom authority. So that's a yellow one. But you have 3 forums right there. Doberman chat, Gentle Doberman, and Doberman talk, right? So those are the forums that are showing up. Auto suggest has 5 and 18. You can actually expand this one. This is kind of like the 18 pieces here, 18, the number here. It shows up here what those are. So you'll see that, Doberman puppy keeps biting, So this means if you write something like Doberman keeps biting, there's a potential that all of these keywords will actually show up. Will actually be targeted by your article, right? So that's why we have an auto suggest here. So in this particular case, I would say it's high. And do I want to write this? Most likely, but yeah, I'll put it at absolute, and then I'll just check the top 5 sites. You can also actually default this to yes if you want to. So let me show you where that is. So yeah, so this one, default check 5 sites. This is in the options. Check that. All right, and then save. So let me refresh that so that it's just defaulted to yes for that particular flag here. Yeah, so it's yes. So you can just click track query, and then I'll mark this as high and absolute. So let's test that. Let me close this. Close those. All right. So let's track that. So it's gonna check all those five top articles ranking, and then update the word count here. So yeah, so this is only 200. 656. Wow, this is 6,000. This is 3,800. So let's take a look at wag dog walking. Okay, wag walking. Okay, let's see. I think this one. Yeah. So let's check if it's really that long. Yeah, it looks pretty long. Looks pretty long. Looks like there's plenty of discussions here that it didn't filter. So what you can do here is actually just select this, and then do an inspect, and just take a look at what this entire section is. And then we can configure that so that the next time we encounter walking website, we will remove all the answers and the questions. Okay, so let me show you how that's done here. Let me see. All right, so let me see. So this is kind of like the training guide section. Yeah, I don't know if that's the one we want. I think it's the Q&A question wherein we want to remove, right? Is it the Q&A question? Let me just yeah, I think it's a Q&A question. Is something we want to remove. Yeah, that's the Q&A question. So it's actually class. So you can just copy this Q-N and A, Control C that. And then we configure that inside our options page. So I have a few here. So, under this query tracker options here, there's a word counter exclusions. So you can actually look at the help here, but it just basically explains if it's an ID, you want to put a pound in front of it and then put the name. And then if it's a class, you want to put a dot and then put the word in it. Okay, so in that particular case, we want to exclude the Q&A, which is a class, right? So if that's the case, we want to do dot Q&A here and then save this. All right, so after you save this, all right, so you can immediately go back to this page and just do a right click and then article word count, right? So it will become 1793 instead of the huge number, and then it will remove the Q&A section here. All right, it's basically using a selector tool to the CSS selector tool to remove those sections and then recount the words in it. All right, so that happened and then it went away, right? So it's about 1700. So you look at here, this is about 6,000, but if you refresh this now, it's gonna become 1700, right? So it is same for this one. Yeah, this is another Wag Walking website. So in reality, if you go back here and then you do article word count, it's instead of 3,800, it's now 1,400, the article itself, right? And then you do a refresh again. So now you know that this particular page is only 1,400. And this particular page is only 1,700, right? So this one, Doberman Planet, is pretty long. Let's take a look at that one too. So it looks like this one is a P24 student. So my guess is it's really that long. So yeah, it's really that long. Okay. So yeah, so you can't really do much about this. This one has 3,100. So it looks like he wrote a pretty long, it's like almost a pillar post, right? So yeah, so you'll be going against him if you did use my research here. So that's how you do it for Doberman. That's how you use the tool. One more thing, you can actually also do something like this. Let's say you just wanna, count the text here. You can also do that, and then right click, just count selected text instead of right clicking. It says article word count. This one will be count selected text instead. Okay, so that's one other option. So let me see here. So let me just go to the options page and then show you what things you can configure. So in the query tracker, you can basically configure your custom forums. You can configure custom social URLs. You can custom authority sites, your own site URL. And then you can configure this check top 5 sites word count, right, to yes. That's the flag here, basically this one. Some people don't want to check it. Sometimes some people do. So yeah, so you can do that. You can set it up. All right. So let me see here. Yeah. So and then this one is the word counter that I shown you earlier. And then these are just some exclusions. When you're exporting, you want to exclude forums, you want to exclude social, and you want to exclude edu and govs, and then maybe you want to include custom authority, your URLs, and then and you don't want to exclude. Oh, sorry, that this means exclude. So exclude forum, social, and edu. This one will not be excluded. Custom authority, your URL, and maybe some website header tags, right? That will show up in the report that I'll show you in a little bit. All right. So that's how. And then this one, do not close a tab. So this one means, if it's 38 more than 2,000, this is the limit that you're trying to change there in this particular one. Okay. So if you increase this, that means it's gonna close more of the windows faster, right? Or they're not gonna even open it up for you to review, right? So yeah, so that's how it is. So the next step is we'll download the spreadsheet and then I'll show you how to analyze that. All right. All right, so I'm just gonna download the spreadsheet for you and then show you what data we are trying to track. Be sure to use the spreadsheet that I provided somewhere in the tool, in the guide section. You should be able to download, make a copy of this particular spreadsheet. and use this when you are exporting the results of your query tracker, right? So as you remember, we only did 2 queries, so the results will be 2 only. So how do you get that? So when you open up this pop-up under the query tracker, we were doing the query tracker, so there's an export here. You can export it as a CSV file, so you can use that in your spreadsheet, or you can use export to clipboard, and then we're gonna paste that inside the Google spreadsheet. All right, so let's do that. So I'm gonna paste it here. So let me just delete this header here. All right, so there we go. So we were trying these two queries, and then you will see that, you know, it tracked the forums. There's about 3 of each, and then this one has like EDUs, like 0, and then the custom authority is about 2 and 1. So remember WAG walking and the pet helpful. So that's what we're trying to track here. And then here, this one is a query in title. So one of the top 5 have the this query in the title, right? So that's why it's showing up as 1 here. And then, oh yeah, so don't forget. So this is just few items. I'm just showing you the column. There is another help video inside the tool wherein I actually went through a big list of Doberman also research, and then you can use that and then understand how you can analyze this. So this one is just showing you what the data is, but in that particular video, I will show you how to analyze and how to pick your particular articles to write. All right. So yeah. So sorry about that. So this is your URL. If you were to be you were to see your own URL, and then you enter your URL as one of the things that you track, it will show up here, right? So you know when you're doing a mass search analysis, you will see that what queries will show up, what queries your URL is showing up, right? Right? So yeah, so this is the autofill. Remember when we were doing the autofill? Let me just show you. Oops. So yeah, remember the autofill here? Yeah, so this one is being tracked 5 in 18. So in this spreadsheet, it's 5 in 18. So the other one is 4 and 5, right? So yeah, so those are the information. And then the other columns outside of this main summary ones is, you know, we definitely extract the snippet and what the URL is. All right. So, and then we also extract all the top 5 URLs here and their word count. Remember, we were this WAG. Sorry. So yeah. So for this WAG walking one, we recalculated that it was 1400, and the other one was 1700, right? So it's tracked here. So, and then, you know, this is the top five queries. Top 5 websites that are ranking, and it basically sums it up, all the word count, and do an average, as well as do the highest, show you the highest here. So you understand why when you look at the other video about analyzing your spreadsheet, right? So yeah, so and then it also shows what type of post it will suggest what type of post that you write. And let's say you decide to do, let's say, a pillar here. You just type a pillar, or you type a response. You know, it will actually tally it up here and then count the words for you, right? So once you have a big list here, and then you enter what you want to write and what the suggestions are. If it matches, it's great. If not, you know, this is still your priority, right? And then it will count the words that you can write. All right. So yeah, so that's the spreadsheet. That's the query tracker for you. All right. So if you have any questions, I'm hoping that I was able to go through all the details here, and then yeah, and it will help you, you know, track your queries manually if you need to do it manually. All right. So yeah, thanks, and have a good day. Bye now.